There is not a single tree in a forest trying to become another tree. The tallest tree does not feel proud because it reaches the sunlight first. The smallest tree does not wish it had grown taller. Difference exists everywhere in nature. Comparison, as we know it, does not. Nature expresses itself in endless variety without asking one form of life to measure itself against another. Every living thing simply fulfills its own place. The rose does not apologize for blooming after the jasmine. The moon does not compete with the stars. The ocean never tries to become the sky. Somewhere in the course of human life, something extraordinary happens. We stop simply seeing differences. We begin measuring ourselves through them. At first, it seems harmless. A child draws a picture with complete joy. Then another child is praised for drawing better. Nothing has changed about the drawing. Something changes inside the child. A teenager laughs freely until someone else is called more attractive. A young musician loves making music until another performer receives louder applause. An employee feels grateful for a new position until hearing about a colleague's promotion. Within moments, an experience that once felt complete begins to feel incomplete. Why? This question deserves far more attention than we usually give it. Human civilization exists because we learn to recognize differences. We distinguish medicine from poison, a safe bridge from an unsafe one, a healthy crop from a failing harvest, an experienced pilot from an inexperienced one. Without the ability to distinguish one thing from another, our species would never have survived. Difference itself is intelligence. Every meaningful skill depends upon it. The world functions because the human mind can observe differences with remarkable precision. Then something subtle happens. The same ability that helps us understand the world quietly turns toward ourselves. The comparison is no longer between two objects. It becomes a comparison between two lives. Look carefully at your own experience. Have you ever entered a gathering feeling completely at ease, only to notice someone who appeared more successful? Perhaps they spoke with greater confidence. Perhaps people gathered around them more easily. Perhaps they seemed happier. Nothing about your own life changed in that moment, yet your experience of it did. Or perhaps the opposite happened. You accomplished something you had worked toward for years. You felt proud. You felt grateful. Then someone else achieved a little more. Suddenly, your own achievement became strangely smaller. How could another person's success reduce something that already belonged to you? It could not. The achievement remained exactly the same. Only the way you were looking at it had changed. Comparison has a remarkable ability. It can make abundance feel like scarcity. It can make gratitude disappear without taking away a single thing. Think about how often this movement appears. You buy a home you genuinely love. Then you visit someone whose home is larger. You are happy with your work. Then you meet someone earning more. You enjoy your vacation. Then you see photographs from someone else's journey. You begin learning a new skill. Then you discover someone your age has already mastered it. Life quietly becomes a scoreboard. Almost everything turns into a measurement. Am I successful enough? Am I attractive enough? Am I intelligent enough? Am I accomplished enough? Am I spiritual enough? Notice something interesting. The objects keep changing. The question remains the same. Am I enough? Comparison rarely ends with a conclusion. If you become wealthier than one person, another appears who has more. If you become stronger, someone stronger eventually arrives. If you become wiser, you meet someone who seems wiser still. The measuring has no finish line because there is always another standard waiting to replace the previous one. This is why comparison is so difficult to escape. It is endlessly adaptable. Take away one measure, and it finds another. Remove money, and it measures intelligence. Remove intelligence, and it measures appearance. Remove appearance, and it measures spirituality. It simply changes the ruler. Look closely at what comparison is always asking. It never asks, what is true? It never asks, what is happening? It asks only one question: where do I stand? That question quietly follows us through school, careers, friendships, families, relationships, even into places of worship. Perhaps we have been asking the wrong question all along. Before comparison can decide whether you are ahead or behind. before it can say you are better or worse, before it can measure success or failure. It must first decide who this I actually is. And perhaps that is where our investigation truly begins. Who exactly is this I that is constantly being measured? Do not answer too quickly. For most of our lives, we never question it. The comparison feels so immediate that the one comparing seems obvious. I am. But look carefully. When someone says you are intelligent, what exactly becomes pleased? When someone says you have failed, what exactly becomes wounded? When someone says you are intelligent, or says you have failed, something feels touched. But what is it? Notice what comparison always requires. It requires an image, not the living human being, an image of the human being. Think about someone who knew you 20 years ago. The person they remember no longer exists in the same way. Your body has changed. Your opinions have changed. Your interests have changed. Even your voice has changed. Now imagine someone meeting you for the first time tomorrow. They will form an entirely different impression. Which one is you? The person remembered 20 years ago? The person imagined tomorrow? Or neither? Look at how many versions of yourself have already existed. The child who believed they could become anything. The teenager desperate to fit in. The young adult trying to prove something. The professional. The parent. The friend. The spiritual seeker. Each one felt completely real at the time. Yet where are they now? They have disappeared like yesterday's weather. And still, you say, I. Perhaps comparison survives because this image never remains fixed. It is constantly being updated. Yesterday you felt successful. Today you feel inadequate. Tomorrow you may feel accomplished again. What changed? Did you? Or did the image change? Notice something remarkable. You do not compare awareness. You compare the story about yourself, the successful story, the unsuccessful story, the attractive story, the ordinary story, the intelligent story, the spiritual story. Every comparison is really one image, measuring itself against another image, one memory against another memory, one idea against another idea. Suppose, for a moment, every mirror in the world disappeared. Every photograph of yours disappeared. Every certificate disappeared. Your social media profile disappeared. Every opinion anyone had ever formed about you disappeared. Without those reflections, who would you be? Do not imagine the answer. Simply stay with the question. Because something strange begins to happen. The image becomes difficult to find. It changes. And whatever changes, can it be what you fundamentally are? Look at your own experience. Thoughts appear by themselves. No one decides what the next thought will be before it arrives. Emotions rise, remain for a while, disappear. Memories visit unexpectedly, then fade again. Even the feeling of being a particular person grows stronger in some situations and weaker in others. It disappears completely in deep sleep. Yet something remains through every one of these changes. When comparison appears, it is known. When comparison disappears, that too is known. When confidence appears, it is known. When insecurity appears, it is known. The contents of experience change endlessly. The knowing of them does not announce any change. Stay with this, not as an idea, as something you can observe right now. A thought may already be saying, I understand. Another may be saying, I don't. Notice that both thoughts are equally known. Neither remains. Another replaces them. Every comparison begins with an image. An image of who you believe you are, comparing itself with an image of who you think you should become. Notice what has happened. Thought creates an image. Then thought begins protecting it, improving it, defending it, comparing it, fearing for it, wanting it to succeed, wanting it to survive. And because the image is never complete, comparison never ends. Consider a photograph of yourself. It cannot feel proud. It cannot feel ashamed. It cannot become more successful. It simply exists. The image you carry in thought is no different. It has no life of its own. Yet thought continually speaks for it, defends it, compares it, fears for it, as though it were alive. And after a while, something extraordinary happens. The image is no longer experienced as an image. It is experienced as me. From that moment, every comparison feels personal. Every criticism feels personal. Every rejection feels personal. Not because the image is suffering, but because it has been mistaken for the one who is looking. Someone may still appear richer, more beautiful, more successful. The thought may still arise. Comparison may still appear. But if the image is seen for what it is, a thought about yourself, rather than yourself, who is left to become smaller? Who is left to become greater? Comparison loses the identity it was trying to improve. It becomes another movement of thought, appearing, remaining for a while, then disappearing, just as every thought does. Freedom is not the end of comparison. The mind may continue comparing. Freedom begins when comparison is no longer mistaken for who you are, not by creating a better image, not by winning every comparison, not by becoming the person you imagined, but by seeing that the one comparison has been trying to perfect was only ever an image. When comparison is understood, life begins to feel very different. Differences remain. Someone may know more than you. Someone may possess greater skill, wealth, or experience. None of this disappears. What fades is the habit of turning every difference into a judgment about yourself. You can admire another person's excellence without feeling diminished by it. You can learn from their success without making your own life feel like a failure. Life gradually ceases to feel like a competition. So what happens when comparison appears? Don't try to stop it. Simply observe it. Suppose you meet someone who seems more successful. Before the mind completes its story, pause. Notice the first reaction, a tightening in the body, a feeling of discomfort. Then the thoughts appear. They're doing better than me. I'm falling behind. See that these are thoughts, not facts. Then ask yourself one question. What exactly is being threatened? Look carefully. Is it you or an image you carry about yourself? Stay with that question. Don't search for an answer. Just watch. Every comparison follows the same movement. A perception, a thought, an image, a judgment. Then the feeling that I have become less. Don't try to become free of comparison. That effort can become another comparison. Instead, allow the whole movement to reveal itself. Notice every moment the mind measures. Don't condemn it. Don't justify it. Simply see it. Then you may discover something. Comparison is one of the mind's constant movements. Seeing it clearly is already the beginning of freedom. You still notice differences. You still learn. You still grow. But your life is no longer organized around the question, where do I stand? There is no race to win, no image to defend. Only this moment met exactly as it is.